A good morning, Uncle Lou here. Gotta go ahead and make this video today. Georgia was off this week, so I didn't have anything to do as far as watching the Georgia game yesterday. So I watched some of these other games yesterday, and I think I had mentioned in my prediction video for this week, or one of the videos I did this past week, that if Michigan State goes to Oregon and gets blowed off the field, then it's pretty much over for the Big Ten. They'll have no playoff team. Well, you guys know by now that's what happened. They kept it close for about 3 quarters or so, but ended up losing by 2 touchdowns, 2 or 3 touchdowns, 20 points I think it was. Just couldn't keep up with Oregon in the end. But that ended up being the least of the Big Ten's problems. The Big Ten is a joke, people. I have been telling you this since July. They're terrible. I'm not convinced they're the 5th best conference even. We do these rankings and I always say they're 5th, like that's last. Well, technically that is last out of the Big 5 conferences, but I mean, Michigan State, at least they played Oregon. But let's go through and look at some of these games here. And I've got the iPad out again. I'm going to go through some of these games here. And I want somebody to try to tell me why the Big Ten should even be relevant. This is just embarrassing. Listen to this. Illinois played something called Western Kentucky, and they only won by 1 touchdown. Okay, 42-34. Nebraska, now I wasn't watching this game, but then I was on Twitter and I saw where somebody tweeted on their tweeter there that the game was tied. I couldn't even believe it. Nebraska and McNeese State. So I did watch the last couple of minutes of this game. Now Nebraska won. They threw a little screen pass or a little swing pass to that Abdurrah or whatever his name is, and he ran 50 yards and scored, and Nebraska ended up winning in the last minute of the game. But it's McNeese State, and they're taking you down to the wire. Nebraska, what are you doing? I don't know. Penn State, you beat Akron 21-3, and then here we go now. Purdue, what has happened to you, sir? You lost to Central Michigan 38-17. That's just ridiculous. There's no excuse for that. These teams in the Big Ten just aren't even showing up. Rutgers beat Howard 38-25. That's not impressive. Even Wisconsin, if you saw any of this game, this really wasn't even an impressive win. 37-3 over Western Illinois, whatever that is. Another loss here, Northwestern. You got beat by Northern Illinois, 23-15. Minnesota squeaked by Middle Tennessee, 35-24. Iowa got lucky, scored 14 points in the 4th quarter to come from behind to beat Ball State. Just ridiculous. And then, Maryland and South Florida, 2 world beaters here. Maryland barely beat South Florida, 24-17. We already talked about the Michigan State-Oregon game. Michigan State just had no answers for their offense in the second half. Just got ran off the field. Now, this is sad. Michigan 0, Notre Dame 31. How is this possible? Because we know Notre Dame's no good, regardless of what their schedule might tell you, or their record might tell you. If they play any decent team, they're going to get molly-whopped. And you can't even get any 31-0? That's embarrassing for Michigan. It's embarrassing for the Big Ten. And then here we go with Uncle Lou's favorite of the week here. Ohio State goes down by 2 touchdowns to Virginia Tech, 35-21. I did watch most all of this game here. It did look to me like Virginia Tech was the better team. The last touchdown there was sort of a garbage touchdown. Ohio State sort of just throwing up prayers there at the end when they were down by 7, and the guy for Virginia Tech picked it off and housed it, about a 60-yard return to put them up 14 there at the very end. But Ohio State, not good. So anyway, at least this clears up the controversy. We don't even have to worry about it now the rest of the year. We already know now which conference is going to get left out of the playoff. So it's going to be the Big Ten. You're not going to the playoffs, Big Ten, so go ahead and just come to that realization today. That gives you about 3 months to let that sink in before the playoff teams are announced. But you have no teams in your conference worthy of making the playoff. I don't think you have a top 15 team in your conference, honestly. I really don't. I can name 15 teams right now off the top of my head that are better than any team in the Big Ten. You guys are pathetic. You're lacking in talent. Most elite high school athletes don't want to go play in the Big Ten. It's cold and boring up there too. They'd much rather play in the Southeastern Conference or out west. You guys in the Big Ten, you guys have set football back 25 years with what you're doing up there. It's just sad, really. When you look at some of these supposedly powerhouse names, Michigan State, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Nebraska, you guys are just pathetic and sad. You're not making the playoff. The happiest conference today, ACC, in the Big 12, because you guys are pretty much guaranteed a spot in the playoff now, unless something drastic happens and the SEC gets 2 teams in. But yeah, if the SEC gets 2 teams in, then one of you guys will have to sit out too. But the Big Ten for sure is going to have to sit out. Of that, there is no doubt. Now, I do have some sad news to report here. Not really sure how to say this, but I guess I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Uncle Lou is going to have to retire from YouTube. I've discussed it with my family and my family doctor too, and I have a heart condition. It's just preventing me from doing YouTube anymore. I want to spend more time with my family, and I want to be a family person, and my family means a lot to me, and I have a heart condition, and I care about my family and my health because I have a heart condition, and my family is important. So it's been nice knowing you guys, but it's time for Uncle Lou to retire here. Okay, I'm back here. As you can see, I've moved. I decided to move here because the competition here in my chair is much weaker than the competition was on my porch. And by moving here, my heart condition is miraculously cured. And by living here, it allows me to care less about my family, so I can get back to making YouTube videos. I'm looking forward to being the most overrated YouTuber on earth. Thank you.